Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on Superman Lois Season 4. Today we're going to be talking about the series finale. Now that the episode is done, we've got quite a few videos that we need to do in the next couple of days to break down things that have been confirmed and talked about by the showrunners, by the actors, about what could have potentially happened in a season 5 of Superman Lois and beyond. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. So Superman Lois is officially done. Thank you for the support on all my recent videos, because this season was such a good season and actually my videos did very well, so I really appreciate everyone that has been tuning in. So stick around for more DC content over the next few weeks, months, years, because we're going nowhere. And obviously leave your suggestions about any videos you want. Do you want me to cover Creature Commandos, which is supposed to have its premiere very soon? Would you like me to do coverage on that? Also other shows, other films, let me know down in the comments below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and break down today's main topic. So we're talking about the Arrowverse. We're talking about the lack of the inclusion of characters from the Arrowverse in Superman Lois's series finale. And we're reading through this article from TV Insider. And there is one question in particular that I want to talk about. And it's this: was there any talk of using clips to bring in former Arrowverse people to send him off? So to send Superman and Lois off? Todd Helbing replied, I mean, there was talk of it. Not to use clips, it was just one of those things that there's really two parts of it. First was the schedule and the money to get them. Grant Gustin was on Broadway, Melissa Benoist in the show, and it's like, when you start to talk about what everybody's doing in their schedule, it just became prohibitive. And then the other piece was that we obviously wanted to honor the legacy of everything that was started by Greg Berlanti in the Arrowverse, but it just felt like the best way to do that is really stick the landing and give the fans something that again is meaningful and will last with them. So that is Todd Helbing's reply, and let's break this down. So first off, I like the fact that he jumped straight to Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist. He didn't go to like Stephen Amell, which is just curious because obviously Arrow started it all. Obviously I'm a big fan of Stephen. However, in the case of him, he did appear in The Flash's final season. So I don't feel like there was as much of a need to bring him back. But obviously since The Flash finished, we have not seen Grant Gustin once again as The Flash, so that would have been amazing if they figured out a way to bring him on board. And also Melissa Benoist, we haven't seen her since Supergirl finished. Yeah, we saw characters from Supergirl like Nia Now and Alex Danvers show up in The Flash, but we haven't seen Melissa Benoist since. So those two would have been the top people on my list, along with Tom Welling from Smallville, just because I thought that would have been a cool cameo, seeing two Supermans fighting alongside each other. And I don't know why the question was to do with clips. Like, obviously we've seen clips in Titans, and that was the way that they kind of crossed over, apart from when Stargirl showed up. So yeah, I guess that's a way to cross over if you can't get anyone. But they did actually think of doing a crossover for the final season, and he claims money and scheduling was the main issue to get them, and it became prohibitive, so they kind of just gave up on that. And I don't feel like they really pushed for it, and that's just based on how they've acted in the past, the Superman Lois showrunners, and the fact that they wanted to distance themselves from the other shows by claiming, oh, this is on another Earth, it's not necessarily on Earth Prime or like strictly related to what's happening in the greater Arrowverse when all the shows were on at the same time. So they did that on purpose, and I never felt like going into the last season that we would definitely have any big crossovers or anything. Even for me, it was just good enough to see Tom Cavanaugh show up in the show. That was a good enough crossover for me, and he played a great character from the comics that I didn't think he was going to play. I thought he was going to play Brainiac, but obviously that turned out to be a different actor, and I liked the way that they got him to play Gordon Godfrey in the show. So I appreciate Todd Helbing mentioning Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist, but I don't feel like they ever really pushed to get them, even if there was talks, and there probably was talks to try and get a couple of Arrowverse people to come over to Superman Lois. But even if they did show up, they wouldn't be playing the same characters. It would have been a different character. So at the end of the day, they obviously wanted to honor the legacy of the Arrowverse, but I think they did that kind of by having Tom Cavanaugh in there, and also, as he says, sticking the landing and giving something that fans will think about for a long time, which is exactly what they did, because that was probably the best ending of any Arrowverse show. It was probably the best finale and the best ending 10 minutes with Clark's epilogue. It was just so impactful, it was so good, and I think it was a great way to send off Superman Lois. And as I said in recent videos, I think the difference between Superman Lois and the rest of the Arrowverse shows is Superman Lois went out in its prime, in its best season in my opinion, and all the other Arrowverse shows, as good as they were throughout their many seasons, they did go on longer, and they didn't have that same quality as Superman Lois. Obviously, it was a step up because Superman Lois could learn from the past mistakes of certain Arrowverse shows, where they would have a lackluster season in like season 4 of The Flash or Supergirl or Arrow. Like, they all had 1 or 2 off seasons, and Superman Lois learned from that, and they kept it concise, not long seasons, and they made it very impactful with what they had. And obviously this season they even had budget restraints, unlike the other Arrowverse shows, so that was just extra impressive what they were able to pull off in the final season. So overall, I would say Superman Lois is probably my favourite Arrowverse show. Yes, I'm a huge fan of all the other shows. I will always go back and watch them. Like, anytime it's on the plane, I always try and turn on The Flash or Supergirl or Arrow whenever it pops up. Or at home, if I feel like watching the crossovers again, I will happily do that because I love The Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, Legends, all the different shows that we had over the years. But I think Superman Lois has definitely taken it to the next level, and that's also thanks to Stargirl that came first and kind of made that step to be kind of like the CW shows that we're used to, but improve the quality by making it more of like a, say, HBO Max style show. So before we end this video, I just want to talk about the Arrowverse. So it's been going for a long time. Technically started with Arrow, but also Smallville was a big influence on that. So it's been going for such a long time, and obviously it's been a big part of my life. It's been a big part of all your lives who have been watching for these many years. I started watching The Flash, actually that was my first show, back like near the end of season 1, start of season 2, and I've watched Supergirl since the start, I watched Legends since the start, and various other shows, and I just got really addicted very fast. And I'll tell you what guys, the reason that I ended up making this channel was because watching The Flash's season 2 finale, I just got super into it, and I've been watching for over a year by then, and I was like, okay, with Zoom, the man in the iron mask, with how they ended, I have a lot of ideas. I think I could talk about this. Like, I was talking about it with people in real life, but not everyone watches all the shows, and so I was recommending Supergirl, like, you gotta watch this. Oh, The Flash just showed up in Supergirl season 1. So one day I just decided, okay, I'm gonna make a video, and I think my first video was actually to do with Supergirl. I did record a video on the end of The Flash season 2, but for some reason I never posted it. I don't know why. But it's been a great, let's say, I started in 2016, it's 2024 now, so it's been 8 years of me making content on YouTube on this channel, covering the various different Arrowverse shows. Obviously I had a lot of emphasis on The Flash and Supergirl in the early days, and I did Arrow videos as well, and some Legends videos, and obviously all the crossovers. Plus, then I started doing Superman Lois, especially as Supergirl was ending, then Superman Lois came along. Kind of just made sense to kind of hop on board, and we've been making tons of Superman Lois videos in the last year, especially since The Flash ended. Obviously that was a big focus of mine because it's one of my favourite shows as well. So I'm extremely grateful to the Arrowverse and everything that Greg Berlanti and all the people behind the scenes and the actors and everyone that's worked on these shows has done for me. It has defined a large part of my life. Like, I was maybe 16 when I made my first video, and now I'm 24, so that's a large part of my life, so I'll never forget any of it. But the question is, where do I go from here with this channel? Now, I changed my name from the DC TV show to Ben's Take about a year ago. I did that with the intention of trying to expand my channel to talk about more stuff that's not just DC TV, as much as that's still my main focus and will continue to be for a lot of content. Now that the Arrowverse is done, I'm definitely going to have to expand, do more DCU content to do with the films as well as the TV shows. But I really want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on what type of comic book videos do you want. Like, is there any shows that you're really looking forward to, like Lanterns maybe, that you want me to cover? I will say, based on the DCU schedule right now, I'm most interested in the Supergirl film, the Superman film, and Lanterns. But then there's obviously other projects that I'm really looking forward to, but I just will have to wait and see as to what content we cover, and that is very dependent on you guys and what you actually watch. So make sure to stay active, and if there is any Arrowverse related things in the future or DC TV related things, of course I will cover it. But for now I just have to accept that there's not going to be too much, but this week we'll still be making Superman Lois videos because there's been a lot of teasers about what could have potentially been in season 5 and beyond. So we need to talk about that. But if you enjoyed this video, and I apologize for the little spiel at the end, but I just wanted to give my reflection on the Arrowverse and, you know, what it means to me and to you guys and everyone else that has watched over the many years. But if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.